Hey everyone, I am TheChosenOneLegend here, as always joined by my co-host.
Hi, I'm Kai, also known as Fascurreyn.
And welcome back to the BunchaJokahs podcast, where we talk Nintendo news and gaming tidbits from the past month. And man, we are in the quiet season, which is nice for the backlog. Not so nice for the podcast, but we found bits. We managed to
Calm
get a
before the
few bits
storm,
in there.
maybe.
That's what we're thinking. You know, there's always a big September Direct. Metroid Prime 4 still meant to be releasing this year, and we've got like 4 months left with no idea of when. So they've got to be prepping something, right? Well, just a matter of time, I say.
You would think
But
so.
then again, Nintendo get a Nintendo. But in the meantime, we do have some other bits. We've got some mini directs, some sort of smaller bits throughout the month, and of course at the end we'll be talking about games that we've been playing in the meantime. You can find links to those sections in the timestamp below, in the description below in timestamps. But let's just get on with our first segment of the podcast. Can't have a podcast without news, baby, where we go over those little bits we found, and sort of a duology here. That we did get some presentations. We got an Indie World and we got Gamescom. They certainly were presentations of all time, weren't they? I mean,
They were there.
they existed. Now, I'm going to hand over to you, Kai. Is there anything you want to pick out from any? I've got one thing, but is there anything you want to pick out from those two?
I genuinely don't think I have a single thing to pick out. Like, a lot of it, it's not to say like it was bad, but like, a lot of it is stuff that we already know about. Nothing for us anyway that really blows us away. It's like, we've already got, a lot on our plates, and there was just nothing of note. I didn't even watch most of it, so it's just whatever to me.
Like Gamescom was, it's Jeff Keighley, a lot of poorly paced stuff and just dragging out. Indie World, it's, as they often are, there's a lot of like, neat, but not really much more to say beyond that. Like, these look fun. It's good to see them getting the spotlight on smaller stuff, but there's nothing like mind blowing for us to talk about here. So it's generally it's fine affair. But what I do want to mention is from Gamescom, a new Lego Batman game got announced. And look, you guys know me, the Lego games, that's my bread and butter. And the weird thing about this one, though, is it's not like a traditional Lego game like the Star Wars ones where you go through the movies and you've got like 100 characters to unlock. It's basically just the Arkham games, but in Lego. Like, literally, it has the Arkham combat system and exploring Gotham. And yeah, I mean, look it up, Kai, if you have the time now, but it's any gameplay of it. But it's just an Arkham game. And apparently it's going to sort of go through... It's not following the movies, but it's going to sort of follow highlights and characters from the last 20, 30 years of Batman in film and stuff. So there's references to, like, the Dark Knight trilogy, the most recent Batman, the old ones in, like, the 90s and that. But when it comes down to gameplay, it's just stealth gameplay, attacking enemies, have, like, the counter system that the Arkham games and Spider-Man are known for. It's just that, but it's Lego. And sure, I guess why not? Like, that's a good system, and Lego's fun, so sure.
Yeah, it's just like, it's so interesting that it's just the same game but in Lego. I mean, I guess it's preferred by some people.
Yeah, I mean, people sort of, falling out.
Weird.
It's been a long time since that trilogy of games, and I think people are kind of missing them. Like, the things that team did afterwards, I think they did, was it the Suicide Squad game and that, which was really naff. So, people are hyped for this return to form, and funnily enough, it came like a day after I bought the Arkham trilogy for £3 or something on sale. So, I guess I have preparation to do. I don't know if I'm going to get this at launch, but I can't say I don't want this. I kind of do. It looks good, so... That was the most interesting thing in the presentation for me, so I'll take it.
I will say, for me, this is more of a sign of, like, it's mad to me that the Lego games are still going, because they've been on for, 20 years at this point? And they're still going strong. They're still doing well, so fair play to them.
Yeah.
They've got a very good system down of, like, slapstick, parodies of whatever they're doing.
they've like sort of slowed down from like, you know, the 2000s period where you got like the one every year. They've slowed that down, but then you get something like
Circa 2010 was crazy.
Exactly, yeah. But nowadays, like Lego Star Wars: The Skywalker Saga, that was what, like 5 years ago at this point, 4 years ago, something like that.
Yeah.
I mean, that was like this big open world Lego game that sort of did something new with the formula, and now we've got this one, which is just an Arkham game. So I appreciate them keeping it alive by making it not go stale and trying new things. You know what, Kai? One step closer to Lego Xenoblade. We've been saying it. They keep experimenting.
I mean, to be fair, we could very much like have a brainstorming session of like what slapstick do they come up with in each of like the dramatic scenes. You know what I mean? There is so much opportunity for that.
I can only imagine how they'd handle Chapter 5 of Xenoblade 3. You know.
God. I'm just imagining now Metal Face eating a slab of butter. That's
literally that is the. Oh, it would be so perfect. Yeah.
He offers Shulk like toast when the music stops. Yeah.
If they bring back the voice actors like this and Lego games have been doing as well. Yeah. It'll never happen, but genuinely, if they don't do a September Direct, this could be our next video, Kai. I'm considering it now.
We're not running out of ideas, yeah.
Why not? Why not go different?
One day.
But see, this is how, you know, we said this is going to be a shorter video. This is how it gets longer. We start brainstorming ideas for Lego Xenoblade. But I guess the only moving to the Nintendo side of things, one thing they did have for us was the Drag X Drive demo. Did you try this, Kai?
Nope. I was just very busy at the time, so I never got around to it.
I tried it very briefly, and I remember saying when we first saw this, like, this looks interesting, but they're gonna need to do like a demo to get your hands on it, and it feels like it works, but man, it's just kind of boring. Like, I just kind of feel like if I was into this kind of game, which I'm not, to be frank, sort of like there's no substance to it other than doing online with friends. There's not even like, you know, ranked where you can like see how well you're doing. It's just play games and play more games and a few challenge trials. So there's really not much substance.
It's the demo, right?
No, that's the full game. The full game's out now, and that is in the full game as well.
Oh, really? It's the full game is just like random games.
Just play random games. You can play online with your friends, but you can't guarantee you'll even be on the same team fighting together. You know, there's no way to just play as like a group of three against other people. You just have to be in the same lobby, and maybe you'll get matched. And there are challenge things you can do to practice, but it's just so lacking anything. And I think that's really what does it. Is it needs even something like ARMS, which people criticise for not having enough single-player content and whatnot. It has a personality, like it has a world with sort of little bits of lore to it, not quite Splatoon level, but that kind of thing. Yeah, there's little like arcade modes things where you can play through each character and that. And this just has nothing. And although like it's like £20 or £25 or something, so it is cheaper, but it very much brings the like, who is this for? Because at the end of the day, the people who like this kind of thing are just going to play Rocket League, aren't they? I mean, that's probably
much.
it.
And I mean, that leads me on to the thought of like, you know, Rematch is a game that we didn't really talk much about, but came out in the summer. And I didn't get around to playing it, but from what I saw, that game looked really good. And then you look at Drag X Drive and it's like, oh, okay, well, you've not really got much to it.
Yeah. All of a sudden. Like, the gimmick of the controlling it worked and it was fun, but I kind of feel like it would be a fun thing for like a brief Mario Party minigame or something. Would I want to sit there for ages doing that? Not really. So it's very much not for me. But we knew it wasn't going to be big, but man, it feels like just a nothing. Which is, hey, it's a shame, but I've got enough to play, so that's fine by me.
Is it like, you know, does it get like strenuous to kind of hold on to, like, to do the motion constantly, or is it alright?
It is a workout, like, because you're constantly moving your arms, you know, as you would be if you were, you know, moving a wheelchair around doing it in real life. So you do get a bit of an arm workout, and it's quite, some of the finer things like trying to do little bunny hops with it that you can do, it's very finicky, But I think, from what I've heard of people who played it more, like, if you get to grips with it, the gameplay systems work perfectly well. It's a little, awkward, but it does function. And it was actually quite satisfying, managed to, like, figure out how to do a quick turn and that kind of stuff. But I feel like I'd have more fun doing, like, race, or like a Fall Guys sort of game where you're controlling those and trying to move through obstacles or something. I would love, I think it would work perfectly for something like that. Yeah, yeah. Like, if they had, like, a few modes for, like, here's a game where you control sort of wheelchair and do various wheelchair sports. You could even make it cost more, and I think people would be more down for it. But this just lacks any personality beyond a few games.
I'm going to build on that idea, actually. I could very much have seen this being expanded out, a couple other games using the same sort of movement system, using the mouse on the bottom of it.
Yeah.
Make it into the next, a sequel to Game & Wario. Because that specifically used the Wii U functions, and that got a nice little niche following and had a brand attached to it that was known for being a bit strange. In my opinion, I mean, obviously you wouldn't have Wario in a wheelchair, but, like, the series is not going to shy away from using, like, odd humanoid characters. I don't know, I wonder if maybe that was the route.
I thought you were going to say Nintendo Land as well, which could have been an idea.
Maybe.
But Game & Wario makes sense.
Game & Wario was what came to mind, because you had, like, the Franks minigame, and, it had a couple single-player, a couple multiplayer, and in general, people just liked it. It was fun, so... That's all I thought could have worked.
I respect them trying, like, a smaller budget title, but it does get to the point where there's not enough there where... people would rather it be more and then cost more, I think. So, it's whatever. But let's on to a game which is certainly not lacking in terms of presentation. That is Kirby Air Riders. We got a full-on Sakurai Direct, like 40 minutes long, breaking down this game. And I'm not going to lie, Kai, my favourite part of all of this was just seeing Sakurai do a presentation again. He's so charming. He's having a great time. Just watching Sakurai do his thing is the best part of all of this.
Yeah, he is pretty great. I mean, because he had that series on game design for a while, right? So
that
was cool to see from him. And then now it's clear, like, this is what he's been working on a little bit. So it's very neat.
It was nice to be back. But we know the game's coming out November 20th, I want to say, is the release date. He showed off a bit of the core racing, various characters you can use, and of course he went in depth on City Trials, which is the big mode from the original, which is returning here with online and all that. And I guess I'll pass it to you, Kai. What were your sort of impressions of what we got shown?
Well, I'm actually scrolling through one of these chats right now, because I know I said something, and I do stick by whatever it was, I think. I watched most of this, and I am going to quickly skim through again just to remind myself, but it really just, oh man, both the UI and, like, the way that the in-game 3D models work is so, like, Smash, you know what I mean? I hate to say that, because obviously, like, it's just the development studio, it's not just, Smash, like, we're a new Smash character. But man, just all the style of it, both that and Kid Icarus, actually, was, I think, what I said originally.
Well, you say, like, new character.
Begging for a Kid Icarus game.
Because even in the presentation, when he announced, like, new playable characters, he gave them, like, a Smash-style splash screen with them, you know. He wasn't shying away from it.
They have a style, don't they?
Yeah.
Oh, this is what I said. Okay, so I said, the UI and graphic style is begging for a Kid Icarus game to be made with it. And that's very true. You know, I just looked at it and I was thinking, man, that was a good game. Like, and if they're making Kirby Air Riders on the Switch now, like, I don't know, it feels like a window to that. But I don't want to draw away from Air Riders itself too much because, you know, it looks interesting. I don't think I'm going to be picking it up, admittedly. Like, I only like racing games to a certain extent, and I've got my hands full with Mario Kart World, but you know, it looks good. I've got to give it credit. Like, they really went in and actually talked about in the direct of, like, why, you know, isn't this just Mario Kart? Why are we not just playing Mario Kart? And he kind of went into those changes, and I did quite appreciate that. They're very, like, you know, very open about, like, we know what the circumstances. We know we're not going to be selling in comparison.
Well, the funny thing is, didn't he say it was him himself who brought it up to Nintendo? Who was like, well, people want this in Mario Kart, which is kind of funny. And I mean, ironically speaking, that is kind of the issue I have myself here. Like you, I'm not sure I'm going to be picking this up because it does look great. You know, everything about, like, it looks like it'll be fun to do. The presentation is off the charts. You know, like when he did a gameplay of him doing one course, and you're like driving through a sea that like parts on either side of you. It's got that sort of F-Zero level of like craziness of the speed you're moving at, and like the scenery whizzing by you and crazy set pieces. Like, that is nothing like Mario Kart, and that is great. But at the end of the day, I'm not really run to do like multiplayer online games. I mentioned it. It's the same thing with Dragon Drive. I'll play them every now and then with friends, but we do that so infrequently that Mario Kart sort of fills that itch for me, and that's enough. So I'm struggling to, like, I really want to get this game, but I'm struggling to justify the purchase for myself from what we've been shown, and to think how much I might actually get to spend on this. But I do want to quickly mention that at the end, they tease like some sort of story cutscene thing with like a new villain or something. So I think there is more to show about this game. I think there might be a single player campaign of some variety. I mean, it's probably just going to be going through the races with a bit of dialogue between them or whatever, you know. I doubt it's going to be much. But it does seem like there's going to be more single player than we've seen. And City Trial looks like it'll be a blast. But it also looks like the kind of thing I'd do for an hour and then be like, well, next game, if you know what I mean. So
yeah, that's true. I will say, I'm looking through this like final cutscene thing. Man, this is like really well animated. Like, that is unreal quality. It makes me wish that there's whatever studio makes those graphics did it for like more series, because wow, it is so good.
I wonder if he's working with the same team who made all the Smash trailers, because those all looked immaculate.
It has to be.
The budget
like,
on those
everything.
was insane.
I think, honestly, I think the team working on this is almost the exact same team working on who worked on Smash. Probably with like less people, but all of the visuals from the UI to the actual gameplay to the cutscenes, it's all the same.
He said it's Bandai Namco he's working with, and Bandai Namco also did Smash, so it is the same.
Yeah,
basic.
I'm thinking like the same like
studio.
Specific people. Yeah, like the head names that are in there always doing this.
If I recall correctly, I
still
think
around, I suppose.
Yeah, I think it's Sakurai's wife who does the UI for games since like Brawl, you know.
Yes.
Whereas that very system that's the same for Kid Icarus and that, which is neat. But
yeah, that's exactly it, like, which is very cool to see.
It's so, although this isn't like a hell yeah, I need to get this, and like, I'll admit, and I know you're the same, I would have rather it been he was working on a new Kid Icarus or something. That would be more my speed.
Yeah.
But I still respect that he's given this a go, and it's got that Sakurai charm in it, in spades. Like, even if I don't pick this up, I'm going to be looking up bits on it, because it just, like, again, the visual side of it and the presentation is immaculate. So it was a fun presentation to watch.
Yeah, like I'm even still looking for it here, and like it does look really good. I mean, just every aspect of it. It's like, you know, even down to things like the options available and the rule sets. It's like just giving more options is good, and you know, they really know what they're doing just to make it entertaining. And it's like, yeah, man, they should work on more games. Like, can these guys make the next Strikers game? Because Battle League was terrible.
Oh, hell yeah. Yeah, that would be something.
I'm just thinking, yeah. It's visually more than anything else. I'm just like, yeah, this is very much the same team, and it looks phenomenal. So, yeah, like I say, probably won't pick it up, but I am begging for them to maybe do like a demo we could try, and it might change my mind. Hint, hint, wink.
I hope so.
Yeah,
I would definitely be on the lookout for that. I guess we have one final bit of news, which is, I guess, you know, we'll address the topic of games that were announced like nearly a decade ago that finally are coming out, and it turns out Inazuma 11 got beaten to the table by Silksong, because it's actually released now. Hollow Knight Silksong, they did like a little a brief trailer for September the 4th, which is the day before we're recording this. I downloaded it, I've been playing it, it's great. It crashed the eShop and
yeah,
Steam.
I heard that, yeah. That's brilliant.
Because they didn't do pre-orders. But yeah, it's bizarre because I feel like it has been since we started the podcast in 2020, Kai. We've always had this thing of, are they going to show Silksong? It's almost weird for it to not be a thing. Yeah. It was shown at E3 2019, and now it's actually out.
So it's literally been like in the works for as long as we've been doing the podcast, essentially.
Yeah,
longer.
Yeah, it has been longer because it was shown before we did the podcast, and
yeah.
The thing is, I believe it was Jason Schreier who did like an interview with Team Cherry, who make the game, about like what went wrong because it kept getting delayed, and then apparently it was just we just kept making it. We were just having fun and good. We were just taking our time, and that's it. There wasn't like a big drama behind the scenes. There wasn't like something went wrong and they had to restart. They just were doing it at their own pace and having a chill time, and that's all that happened, which is very funny. But
it's so bizarre.
Yeah.
I guess when it's like a small team and like, they're not in a rush because Hollow Knight is so popular. They're like, yeah, we might as well.
That's the thing, like, they clearly are living off of Hollow Knight because they only charged £16 for it. Like, they could have got away with so much more. People would have spent at least 30, for this, given how good
I was thinking
Hollow
30
Knight was.
as well, actually.
Yeah, but £16, and I'm very early on, and I'll talk about it probably next month, and I'm assuming I would have beaten it. But it feels so good. It's great. It's more Hollow Knight, and it plays fantastically. It's an insane bargain.
Yeah, I mean, I'm looking at some gameplay now. Like, I've not played Hollow Knight, so to me, this looks very, very similar to Hollow Knight. I wouldn't be able to tell the difference outside of the person, but I don't think people are asking for much more than that, are they? They just wanted more Hollow Knight. Well,
Silksong was originally in like I think it was a Kickstarter, and it was one of the Kickstarter pledges was they would add like a DLC story afterwards. That's what Silksong was going to be, and then they decided actually it's going to be its own game. And then they somehow spent 8 years making it. But, yeah. So, it is very much, like, the core of it is it's Hollow Knight. But you do have new gameplay systems in there. Like, the character controls differently. It's an entirely new map and a new setting. So, yeah. But it is, if you like Hollow Knight, you're going to like this.
At first glance, there's only one thing I can see you possibly getting upset about. And I feel like, hardly even upset, but I feel like the hitbox on the head is going to catch you out a lot, because I'm noticing how big these ears are, or whatever they are. Like, I don't know how to describe them, but I feel like that's going to catch a lot of people out, which is quite fun, actually.
Actually, I haven't noticed that too much. I've only played like 2 hours or something, but I haven't noticed that being a problem, at least. But it is tough. Like, it's punishing, and of course, like Hollow Knight, you really, like, when you start off, you don't have a map. Each new area you go into, you need to get a map to, and then you only sort of show parts of it. As you discover secret caverns, those only appear on the map if you rest at a bench and fill those in yourself. So it's very much exploring and getting lost to like a new degree, and it's kind of like, it's stressful. It's a stressful game to play, but it's so perfect at the same time. But again, I'll save that for next month. But good signs, basically. It seems like they did not disappoint.
Yeah, it's finally here. We can stop asking for it.
Yep, now let us just hope Inazuma 11 makes it as well. Is that November it's meant for?
Yeah, meant to be. I'm just not even going to think about it until then, to be honest.
We'll see, yeah. But that's about it for our games... for the news of this month. So let's move on to our next and final segment of the podcast, Games Time, baby, where we talk about games we've been playing in the meantime. And how many games have you got, Kai, today? What are you looking at?
I think 2.
Okay, do you want to start us off with one of them?
I think it's 2. I'll say 2. Well, I'll start with one that's kind of you as well, I guess.
Yeah, go for it.
And that is, we'll talk about Peak.
Ooh, yeah.
We played Peak. Did you forget about that one?
I think I've repressed the memory of falling down at the last hurdle, but Uh,
Yeah. So yeah, we played Peak. Big. It's like the big game right now, isn't it? That's like the big multiplayer game. Has
the
been for
stream
last
game,
month or
right?
two.
Kind of thing.
Yeah, it's what all the streamers play and whatever else. But it's one of the sometimes the ones that they play are like kind of misses. And then this it's very fun. It's a very fun little party game. You're climbing up the mountain, typically in a team of 4, and you can get resurrected along the way if you take a tumble. But overall, like it's a good level of challenge. I think it feels very winnable without being like easy. It definitely is difficult. Yeah. For example, when we played, we did like our first proper go of it. What was it, last week now? And I was the only one to make it to the end, and even that was like only just barely. And you just barely fell at the last hurdle. So it's a fun game. You've got your emotes and bits like that, and your wacky items. But overall, it's a really interesting game to kind of collaborate on and just see what happens. It feels like, especially when it's like a random route each day. There's definitely a lot of options you can explore, so it's very repeatable. So yeah, it's just a very fun game.
Yeah, it's definitely it's just a fun multiplayer game. It's one of those that thrives on trying to communicate and panicking and getting stressed at the different moments when one of you goes off and nearly dies. But like, it's the sort of the collaborative part of it. Yeah, but you made it in the end. But the collaborative part of it is absolutely the charm of it. And I mean, let's be real. Like, it's very jank. It's some points where it's very messy on how you make it, and I think that's why it's one of those streamer games. It's the kind of thing like Fall Guys where you can just get hit by some bullshit and not make it. You know, and although parts of it can be frustrating, it also does make it very funny. So it's
yeah, agreed.
Yeah. It's just like, if you're going to play this game with a bunch of friends, it's the perfect backdrop to just have a laugh and have plenty of memorable moments along the way. So I think it does its job well, and we're literally in discussion to play it again tonight or tomorrow night or something, and I'm looking forward to it. So it's clearly doing something right.
Yeah, it'll be fun. I think we can do some cool stuff with it. Yeah, it's a good game. So that's kind of one of mine that I've been looking at, because hopefully we can play it more going forward.
Exactly, and if we get desperate, I guess we could do something for the channel with it. Who knows? But
yeah,
always keep the options open. But I guess for my first game, I want to talk about one I nearly talked about last month, except we reached the 58-minute mark and decided to push it back, and that is Donkey Kong Bananza, the big one. Arguably the biggest new game for the Switch 2. You could make an argument, that and Mario Kart World. But we were both skeptical going up to this one. Like, we wanted Odyssey 2, we wanted a new 3D Mario, and then this came out and we're like, it's clearly, this is their equivalent of that. This is the same team. Is it going to be as good though? Is Donkey Kong as interesting? Does it work? And I am glad to say, hell yeah, it does. I mean, it's just like a really satisfying gameplay loop. It takes that sort of Odyssey feeling of the moons everywhere, except this time it's banana, and that never gets old. Doesn't matter how many 100 times you hear it does not get old. But it's just a really fun collectathon kind of platformer. There's the world variety, there's the little character moments. I mean, having Pauline there and given her voice acting is quite fun. She has some cute moments with DK. When you reach a little rest point, each rest point has like a unique little piece of dialogue between them two when you rest, which is really
nice.
Fun. It really like fleshes out smaller bits and character details.
Just to check, when you say dialogue between the two, is it actual dialogue between the two, or is it Pauline talks to DK and DK's like
the latter, yeah.
Okay.
Donkey Kong doesn't suddenly pull out like doesn't suddenly start speaking fluently. Oh yes, Pauline, I would inquire some bananas tonight. Oh god, yeah. I kind of want that now.
You don't. You don't.
Hello, Pauline. I mean, hey, look, they did the Donkey Kong Country cartoon. It's happened before. But yeah, it's just full of that kind of charm to it. You know, again, you've played Odyssey, you know the kind of humour it has, the bright kind of weird characters you meet, and the wacky sort of worlds. It's all there and it's great. The digging system of like destroying terrain is really interesting, because on the one hand you got the worry of, does this just mean there's no game design, right? You know, how do you find things? But they've really managed it perfectly, where a lot of them, things are signposted. There are little hints that lead you towards these different bananas that are like hidden underneath structures or buried deep under the ground. There are little paths that lead you to them. But also, you could just be punching through ground randomly and happen to find one of them, not the way that you're intended to. It's got that level of satisfaction where you sort of do a combination of eloquent game design leading you to bits, and then just messing about and stumbling upon shit. And it never gets old doing that. Like, each world has like unique mechanics to it. It's like the camera when you're underground is fit perfectly to like see where you're going. It's all the level of polish and perfection you would expect from the Mario team. It's there in full force. And we predicted like the end game was going to be elite, and hell yeah, it is. Like.
That's reassuring.
Oh, you're
I've
in
still
for a
not
treat.
seen most of it. I've been spoiled on some stuff, I will say, that I'll not repeat.
Yeah.
But, no, I trust that it's going to be very good. I only know some light details.
Yeah, there's some very cool stuff, and even if you've known like the big bits, which thankfully I managed to not get spoiled on somehow, but even if you don't know the bigger twists or bigger reveals, there's still so much to it that you were just not going to expect, and how they do things. The level of like love for Donkey Kong, just from all Donkey Kong, like references in like game design and little levels and music to like things from having the DK rap playing at the rest points, which we saw in like the trailer and that. It's all there, and it just feels good. And the post game, what I will give the post game, there's not as much to it as Mario Odyssey. But what I do like is that they got a better balance on the amount of moons. I've still never 100%ed Odyssey, because let's be real, it's a pain in the ass. You know,
there's a lot of moons.
Yeah, there are arguably too many. But I feel like Donkey Kong gets that balance right, where there's extra stuff to do. You don't have to do it all, but it isn't too much where if you want to do it, it feels like a chore. So I did end up doing 100%, and there are some like new challenges post game that. It's never insanely difficult, but if you're in for, making the most out of your different Bananza transformations and comboing them together and figuring out effective ways and tricks you can do with them, like, that's all there. So there are ways for you to test what you've learned. And it was just, it captured that feeling of Odyssey. That's the best compliment I can give it. It's not the exact same, but it captures that feeling and does something new with it. So, like, this is a strong contender for them starting off. Like, this is a Game of the Year discussion contender easily, without a doubt. So, yeah, it's impressive stuff all around, really.
Yeah, because you know how much I like Odyssey. I've actually been thinking the last couple of days, do I make a mini-series out of, like, refining my speedruns of it?
I can see that.
I've been considering that. And it's just because the movement in the game is so good, And I was a little worried, like, I was like, clearly it's the same team, I trust that they're going to know what they're doing, but I was like, destroying the terrain is something, and then I was like, DK's a big guy. I was like, is this going to, you're going to have the same, like, dynamic movement where you can do all these flips and stuff, but clearly there's still a lot to it where, very much the game works on what it wants to do and have the same feel, so... That's very reassuring, and it's on the list, it's on the backlog, so I might get around to it circa sort of Christmas time.
Yeah, it's not as much of a platformer, but DK's movement feels great. Like, you saw stuff in the trailer where he can, like, pick up terrain and, like, jump from it and surf along with it. And you can sort of chain those together.
I've already heard
like,
there's,
roll
like,
jumps.
Yeah. You can do, like, glitches, apparently, where you can just, like, fly forever with it.
Oh, yeah. And of course you chain in the different Bananza power-ups you get, which you can switch between instantly. And you are definitely not going to be disappointed in terms of movement options. And if you wanted something new to speedrun, like, yeah, this is the perfect game for it. In fact, you're not even locked behind needing a certain amount of bananas to finish an area. So you can skip things.
Can you just go start to finish?
Yeah, I mean, again, there are certain ones that are story ones, but you don't need to collect 20 bananas to beat this area. You just need to get to the end of the area and do whatever it takes in the story to do that. But
I see. Cool.
Yeah, and there are definitely people have found skips already. Like, they've managed to skip entire Bananza power-ups, which you're not meant to, but it can be done. And the game actually acknowledges you if you do, so it's...
Oh, that's cool.
It's pretty crazy. But yeah, definitely, I feel like this is one you'll love, so I'll be looking forward to hearing your thoughts when you get around to it. But yeah, it's a strong start for the Switch too, that's for sure.
Yeah, looking forward to playing it.
Alrighty then, Kai, what's your second game you've got?
So, I'll quickly cover two small things that aren't huge. One is I'm still working on the RPG, and I really think that'll be out by the end of the year.
Hell yeah.
I haven't mentioned this to you yet, but I'm now 80% through the final playtest. So I think I'll give it a couple weeks and I'm there. So we're getting there. It will be there. The other one is Mario Kart World. I'll mention this as a little challenge I'm giving myself that I've talked about before. And I am currently doing the free roam. Well, there's a lot of stuff to do. And currently my challenge is I want to get every single P-switch while walking on a treadmill. So every time I'm going on a little P-switch run where I'll try and get 10, 20 at a time, I'm on the treadmill the whole time. So I'm getting there. I think I'm a quarter of the way, because there's 370 something maybe. I don't know. There's an insane amount of these things, but I am getting there. I think I just broke 100 the other day. So that's another little thing I'm doing when I want to do fitness stuff. The main game I was going to talk about that I've spent a fair bit playing is a demo called Demon Bluff. Now this one is maybe a little bit more niche, and it is basically, you've got these, you've got the classic social deduction genre, and then there's the game Blood on the Clock Tower, which is a bit more of that, it's basically a mafia / werewolf kind of thing, but a little bit more organized. Everyone has something to do. And Demon Bluff is basically a single-player version of all of that. You'll get given a board with maybe, say, 8 characters on it, 8 cards, and when you flip over a card, they'll have a roll, and the game will tell you, in the town, there's 5 villagers, there's 1 outsider who is on the good team, but has a detrimental effect, and 2 evils, a minion and a demon. And every single character in the deck can have abilities. So your whole thing basically is look at what every single character is saying, figure out where the inconsistencies are, and take out the demon and the minion. So it basically has gone from being a social deduction game to just a deduction game. It's essentially randomized logic puzzles if you really wanted to break it down into its components. Calling it a logic puzzle is the same way you call Fire Emblem chess. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's that kind of breakdown, but it's very fun. I'll say I've spent a ton of time playing it. For those who have played it, I've currently saved 100 villages in in the endless mode, and I'm on Ascension, I think 14 or 15 in the normal mode. But yeah, it's just really fun because I think total there must be 30, I think 25 or 30 villagers, 10 outsiders, and 10 total evils, and it randomizes it every time. So you're never really doing the same set of things, and it's just a nice little brain workout more than anything else. There isn't a story. It's basically one music track through the whole thing, but and there's not a sense of progression either. But that's because it's the demo. Right now it's just gauging interest, and from what I've seen, it's had a huge amount of interest. I've spent probably at least 10 hours playing it already, and it's not an easy game, but it's also not too overly difficult when you know what you're doing with it. It's right up my alley. So I've just been super enjoying this game. It's been a very good time. Like I say, it's a free demo right now, so it's available for anyone to try. It's a very small file size and all of that. So it's right there on Steam, and I'm looking forward to when the full thing comes out. I think probably beginning of next year, just to see what progression stuff they add to it. Do they make it a roguelike? Do they do something else with it? Because right now it is basically just random outcomes, but it's just a super interesting game for me. So I've had a really good time with it.
Yeah, that definitely sounds like a perfect Kai game. That's for sure.
Yeah, exactly. I'll show it up on stream at some point.
Yeah, I was going to ask that if you were going to stream it, because it does sound like a game that would be very interesting to watch at the very least, even if I don't pick it up myself. It looks interesting.
Yeah.
So
it really is, and I think the thing that makes it very easy to play is that doing one round of it, one village, literally is depending on how quick you are, it's anywhere from 30 seconds to 2 minutes. So it's very easy to just go on and do one of them if you're bored or something.
That's a good idea. Yeah, that makes sense. I guess it would be a good kind of Switch
as opposed to
game
other roguelikes. Yeah. It would be, to be honest. I could very much see that being the case. It'd be very easy to map the controls on it and that sort of thing. So it's just really it's really fun. Simple as that. It's I'm trying to get more into these smaller Steam games that don't take up as much of my time. So I say that I end up spending 45 minutes at a time playing it. So it doesn't actually help the issue at all, but. It's just a really good time, so something I definitely want to show off in the future. Yeah,
sounds good. I'll keep an eye out for that one. I guess I shall end off with myself, and I want to, I'll briefly mention something quick, which is I did replay NieR Automata this month. I brought it. Finished it. I had a great time. I loved it. I did all the side quests basically. Not all. I didn't do 100%, but I did most of them along the way. It was nice to revisit. Gameplay definitely clicked with me more than it did you, I think. But I've played a lot of these kind of games before, and
it's just the balls. I liked it outside of the balls.
That's the thing. I didn't really struggle with the balls. This is a weird statement out of context, but it's the one boss that you struggled with that I thought was actually obnoxious was that one in the desert with a low it was flying through the sky like a snake one. I think it was an
the flying balls.
Yeah, the flying balls. Yeah, that one sucked.
I didn't play that one. I went on easy mode and put the controller down.
Yeah, that was the only one that gave me I still beat it. I had a pretty good setup. And what I actually had, which I made it so I think it was Deadly Heal. So whenever I killed an enemy, I'd recover. And that was a godsend for getting it through standard enemies. I was basically invincible. Bosses, that didn't help on. But standard enemies, yeah, I was invincible. But
I will say, if I can answer that quickly, I have watched the first season of the animation now, so...
Oh, nice.
I don't have too much to say because it'll be spoilers, but I've really enjoyed it, actually, the first season. And
you mean
I
the
first...
if I
go back to playing NieR Automata now, I would enjoy it a lot more.
So you mean the entirety of the anime, or the first half of it?
The first season, so the first 12 episodes or whatever.
Oh, okay, first 12 episodes.
I don't know how you classify it.
Yeah, I'm not sure if it's seasons or half seasons. They're weird when they do it that way. But I see what you mean. Yeah, it's good. It's very good stuff. I've been watching it myself actually with my friend who hasn't played the game, but it's been fun to revisit and again, especially having played NieR Replicant now. Seeing the little connections there is fun. But that aside, the other game I want to sort of talk about a little bit, not much to say, is Portal 2. I played Portal 2 because I had a week before Silksong came out, and that's for the right game to fit in that gap. And what hasn't been said about Portal 2 over the past 15 years or whatever. Yeah. I mean, I can't really say anything new. I do have a hot take, and that hot take is I think I prefer Portal 1, which not a lot of people say. And for me, I think it's just... And there's a few games like this where I feel 2 gets a little more gimmicky. And I kind of feel 1 has the pure essence of the game down more perfect. When 2 brings out these different liquids that make the floor bouncy or makes it slidey, and you have to combine those. Whereas I think I prefer just like the simple like cube puzzles and that kind of thing of the first game, which 2 had a little less of. So I think 1's a little better in my eyes, but 2's still great. I mean, you've got Stephen Merchant in there as Wheatley, and he is hilarious, understandably so. He's like one of the writers of like The Office UK and whatnot, so you know what you're getting into. I love those stuff. But it was a fantastic time the entire way. It's just charming, good puzzles, nice satisfaction to the ending of it and the way it all wraps up. But yeah, I think I did prefer Portal 1 just a little bit more, to be honest with you. But
interesting.
Yeah, not really much more beyond that. So I need to try the multiplayer. Actually, I haven't done that yet, and I might drag my friend into it because it has local. So maybe I'll give that a go. Get back to you on that one. But yeah, good, like, neat, quick game. It's nice to have. It's a nice break between the huge RPGs and the collectathon platformers to just play something for like 6 hours and be like, yeah, that's it. It's kind of nice.
But that's cool. Yeah, it's a nice little game, isn't it? It's yeah.
Exactly,
I mean, it's such a classic. I really don't have anything to add on top of what you said.
That's
it's just one of those, isn't it?
I can't say anything about it that no one hasn't said 1,000 times before. But yeah, it's good still. And hey, we made it under 50 minutes, closer than I thought it would be, Kai. But we find a way. But that is it for this month's podcast. So thank you so much for watching. Of course, we'll be back next month. Again, first Sunday of each month, we have a regular podcast like this, as well as different discussions on any big games that come out or reactions to any directs. We're still hoping for that September one, so stay tuned for that, hopefully. And of course, we'll be on Twitch. You can find Kai. Whereabouts will that be?
Twitch.tv/Fascurreyn. I'm basically doing random stuff till Inazuma comes out, so who knows what I'm going to end up with.
Yeah, there'll be a link in the description below. And speaking of random stuff, I have been trying Ocarina of Time randomizer on my channel, twitch.tv/TheChosenOneLegend, with mixed results, but it's been fun. It's definitely been interesting, and I'll probably talk about that one somewhere down the line. But yeah, you can check out both of those in the description below, as well as a link to our friend Samm, our graphic designer, who makes the thumbnail and the logos for the video. Thank you once again, Samm. And that's about it. We'll catch you guys in the next one. Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Oh, these beanbags are uncomfortable. Ugh.